Okay, you see here, failed attempt. So I got myself all confused. We're going to start fresh. So we're going to follow the directions. For the first two questions, we're only looking at this part. Using data analysis tool, we're going to get a histogram and a cumulative percentage polygon. So it says start in C12, and we are going to come up and we're going to do data analysis, histogram. Hit OK. And then this, yours is not going to do that, but we're going to just start fresh because I've done this like 5 times now. And we're going to do that. And then we're referencing our bin range is going to be this upper. So we're going to highlight the word upper all the way to 4. And you have to make sure you check mark label because it's going to include the label of upper. And then we're also going to check mark cumulative percentage because he wants cumulative percentage polygon. And we're doing a chart output. And we're going to hit OK. For some reason, it was supposed to put it in the C12. I wasn't paying attention, but that's okay. So we're going to drag our graph over here so we can just make it a little bigger so we can really see it. And then this is where he says edit. So we're going to double click on these bars, change this width to 0, paint can, solid line, black, and we're gonna hit okay. Oh, and then he said change this to 1.0. Oops, I don't want to mess with that. Okay, this is freaking out. Alright, double click this. So axis options, maximum 1.0. Exit, then we're good. All right. Now, the only thing that I'm still confused on is we can't choose group. So I don't know what he's talking about. Start at the minimum value of 2.3. But doing it the way we just did it. Okay, I'm gonna hit pause again. Alright. So I think we can just basically read a graph. So we know that this bar reflects 2.3 to 2.4. And then this one is 2.5 to 2.6. So the number we're reading is the upper limit of that range. So I'm just going to use context clues, I guess. So which is the interval with the tallest bar? That's this one. And so we know that it's the upper range of 3, so 2.9 to 3. So this is 2.3 to 2.4. This is 2.5 to 2.6. This is 2.7 to 2.8. And this is 2.9 to 3.0. So let's mark that down here. So, questions, answers. Question 1, I'm saying 2.9 to 3.0. That's the interval with the tallest bar. Question 2, according to the cumulative percent polygon, which class interval will be the 50% cumulative percentage? So 50%. And we go to our little cumulative polygon. So I'm thinking it's this one. And which class interval will be the 50%? If I'm reading this correctly, I'm going to go, well, this is valued at 45.71. And that's 62. So we can round that to 50. So that would be this 3.2, which would be 3.1 to 3.2. Again, I don't know if I'm doing this right. You'll have to put them in and see. Alright, so using the histogram chart tool, obtain a histogram with 10 intervals or bins. How do we do that? Let's find out. So I'm going to highlight the data. And I'm going to make this big. And we're going to do insert. And we're going to do histogram. And then we need to edit this somehow. Let me pause it. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, hold on, how to do this little second part because it's a little confusing. But it says using the histogram chart tool, obtain a histogram with 10 intervals or bends. So what I did is I came over and dragged this over here. So I've already done this outside of here. So I created a pivot table, which we do, like I can start fresh to show you. Delete. Okay. So, and we'll just actually delete this whole sheet. So in here, we're gonna do insert, table, pivot table. And we're gonna highlight all of the GPAs. And I'm gonna do a new worksheet so that it's not so muddy. I did it again. Gosh darn it. We have to include GPA. Insert, table, pivot table, GPA. And we're going to do new worksheet. Now we're going to drag this into our rows just like we've been doing. We're going to put this into our count. And we have to change it from sum to count. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to right click. And we're going to do our group. Now, he says to do this 10 intervals or bends. So if we're doing this by 0.2, I change this to 2.1, even though that's not the lowest, I don't think, and hit OK. And what this then does is it gives us 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From here, we just click a random spot, and we're going to hit Insert. Insert. And we're doing... Hold on. What did he say to do? Histogram. Histogram. Of course, we want pivot chart. And then... Is that what we want? That doesn't seem quite right, does it? Using the histogram chart tool, obtain a histogram with 10 intervals or bends. And what is the interval width that Excel uses? Well, they tried to say 0.1, if that's what he means. So, I don't know if that's the right answer, but I had to manually change it from 0.1 to 0.2. So, we could try that. 0.1. I don't know if that's right though, that doesn't seem right. And then, is there a single peak or largest bar in the histogram? Yes, and it falls within this 2.9 to 3.1 range, which again, we didn't edit these yet. Let's edit them real quick. So we're in the good habit of doing it. So 2.9 to 3.1. So I don't know if he's looking for yes or the answer, but before it would be yes, 2.9 to 3.1. Hopefully these are the correct answers. And then 5. Obtain a pie chart for gender distribution that displays the percentages of males and females. Alright, so I gotta remember how to do that. Okay, I have figured it out. So it would be very helpful to just read the directions and follow along. So we're going to ignore what I just said. Number 3 and number 4. So let's clear those out for a second. Alright, so what you do, because I just read it, is you're going to highlight the data. And we're going to do insert, histogram. Then we're going to click on the x-axis here. Number of bins, he said put it at 10. And if we click on this again, alright, so question 3. What is the interval width that Excel uses? 0.17. So we're going to come back over here, 0.17. Question 4, is there a single peak largest bar? Ooh, no, these two are equal. So the answer would be no. And that would be because these ranges right here are equal. 2.98, 3.15, and then 3.66 to 3.83. Alright, getting somewhere here. And then 5. I'm going to pause it and then try to remember how to do the pie chart, because I think that was in the lecture but not the class activity. Alright, and I think for a pie chart what we do is we do another pivot table. So we're going to do pivot, and again this time we're going to actually do gender, not GPA, and we're going to do a new worksheet so we don't get all confused. Put it in a new graph, gender, and then we're going to do count, which it's done it. Perfect. Now we're going to do pivot chart, and we're going to change it to pie. And then this is where you can get all fancy with it, but we'll just start here for now. And then he said there is a way to edit this. Let's give it a solid line, and then our data tab. No, is that not it? Oh, plus data labels. Perfect. And so then, you know, we've got our color coding. Blue is female, red is male. So we know that 49 females, or look, it's already done the math for you, 69% versus 22 males, or 31%. So I'm sure there's, I can't remember, he did show it. There's a way to put on percentage. You know, there was a way. I don't remember. Either way, there it is, 69%. So the homework assignment says, like, I Googled everything. Question 5. What is the percentage of females? You did not have to do a pie chart to do this, but you should know how to do a pie chart, as we just did. Oh look, I bet we could do it like this. I really wanted a percentage on here. Either way, we know that the answer is 69% are females. So, question number 5, 69%. I feel very confident about these 3. These 2, questionable. You'll have to enter the answers and see if they're correct. Okay. Make sure that's all the questions. Alright, we'll see.